In this lecture, we will learn about Linux kernel modules. To understand it properly, we first need to know what is the Linux kernel. The Linux kernel is the core part of the operating system. It is the component that directly communicates with the hardware and manages critical resources such as the processor, memory, storage devices, and network interfaces. Because the kernel is always active, it must be designed in a way that keeps the system fast, stable, and flexible. If the kernel tries to handle all hardware devices and all features by itself, it becomes too large, and then it becomes hard to manage and work with. This would slow down the system and make updates complicated. To avoid this problem, Linux uses a modular design. This design allows the kernel to stay small while still being able to extend its functionality when required. This is where kernel modules come into play. A kernel module is a separate piece of code that can be added to the running kernel to provide additional functionality. Instead of being permanently built into the kernel, a module can be loaded only when it is needed. Once it is loaded, it behaves just like a built-in part of the kernel, as if it was always there. Kernel modules are commonly used for hardware drivers, file system support, and network features. When new hardware is connected or a specific feature is required, the kernel requests the relevant module. In most Linux systems, this request is handled automatically using standard module management tools. Because kernel modules operate inside kernel space, they have direct access to system resources. This makes them a very powerful but also very sensitive. A faulty module can affect the stability of the entire system. For this reason, Linux provides control tools to load, unload, and manage kernel modules safely instead of allowing random code insertion. Some parts of the kernel are so important that they must always be present and cannot be optional. Features that are required during the earliest stages of system startup are compiled directly into the kernel. These are known as built-in kernel components. They are always present from boot time and cannot be removed or unloaded while the system is running. Other functionality does not need to be active all the time. This functionality is provided through loadable kernel modules. These modules remain inactive until the system needs them. This separation allows Linux to balance reliability and flexibility without sacrificing performance. When a loadable kernel module is required, it must be inserted into the running kernel. This process is called loading a module. One basic tool used for this purpose is called insert mod. The insert mod tool loads a specific module file directly into the kernel. It performs only one task, which is inserting the module, and it does not check whether other modules are required for it to work properly. Because real systems have modules that depend on each other, Linux provides an advanced tool called modprobe to handle this properly. The modprobe tool loads a module and automatically handles all required dependencies. If a module depends on other modules, modprobe ensures they are loaded first. Due to this intelligent behavior, modprobe is the preferred and commonly used tool in real-world Linux systems. Just as modules can be loaded, they can also be removed when they are no longer required. This process is known as unloading a module. Linux allows unloading only when the module is not being used by any other component. This safety rule prevents system crashes and ensures kernel stability. To keep track of everything that is currently active, Linux maintains an internal list of loaded modules. Administrators can view this list using standard commands to understand which modules are influencing kernel behavior at a given time. This information is extremely useful for troubleshooting hardware issues, performance problems, and security investigations. To load modules properly and handle their dependencies, Linux needs a properly organized place to store these modules. This is provided by the directory /lib/modules. Inside this directory, kernel modules are stored according to the exact kernel version they belong to. This ensures that only compatible modules are loaded into the running kernel. Each kernel version has its own subdirectory under /lib/modules. When modprobe loads a module, it searches this directory, checks dependency information, and selects the correct module files. This structure prevents version mismatch errors and protects the system from instability. In some situations, loading a particular module is not desirable. A module may cause hardware conflicts, performance degradation, or security risks. To handle such cases, Linux provides a control mechanism called blacklisting. Blacklisting is configured through modprobe settings. When a module is blacklisted, modprobe is instructed not to load that module automatically, even if the system detects related hardware. The module file still exists on the system, but it is ignored unless manually forced. Blacklisting does not modify the kernel and does not delete any files. It simply controls module behavior at load time. This gives administrators precise control over which kernel features are allowed to become active. When we look at everything together, the full picture becomes clear. Kernel modules allow the Linux kernel to stay small and flexible, while built-in components make sure the system remains stable during startup. Tools like insert mod and modprobe control how and when modules are loaded into the kernel. The /lib/modules directory keeps all modules well organized, and blacklisting ensures that problematic modules remain inactive. I hope you learned something useful in this video, and I will see you in the next one. But please wait. Don't forget to subscribe.